Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Good evening, and you're welcome to the Wise Builders. Good evening, good evening. My name is Dolapo Aburadini. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You're welcome to the Wise Builders tonight. My name is Dolapo Aburadini, and I do present the Wise Builders every Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. UK time. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Just trying to adjust my camera. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening to you on Instagram and YouTube as well. I wouldn't want to waste our time tonight. So we are cutting off all the songs so that we can quickly go straight to the point. We actually have a live scenario tonight, which I want to discuss, and I hope the parties in question will listen to this and then they will have answers to their question. Um, one more time, good evening, and my name is Dolapo Agradeni. I present the Wise Builders every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Tonight, the topic for deliberation or discussion is the wife and the second wife. The wife and the second wife. Oftentimes we hear this kind of stories and we think, are they for real? Is this for real? Can it be true? But it is true. And it is happening in our midst, it's going on every now and then. And one of the issues I have is, why are we not learning from it? Why are parties still falling, people still falling into the same issue or the same dilemma or problem, and then it's still the same. And this, when I had this, kind of broke my heart a bit, because it's like history repeating itself, and I was wondering, why are we like this, especially um, people from the minority ethnic and I'll say Africans generally. This is more, it's prevalent more around black black minorities. It's the story of, I'll give you the life. If it's a life story, it's sad. I just want people's opinion. I want us to talk about it as much as I get people's opinion about it. And basically, it's the relationship of a man and two wives. In this modern day, can we just plead on our men to please be very, very careful? On this platform, like I kind of empathize. I try to put myself in people's shoes. I try not to make any judgments or judgmental comments, but at the same time, the truth has to be told, because we have to call a spade, else we'll just be deceiving ourselves. So this is a case of a man that had. I was going to write the scenario out, but it was too long, so I just thought to just brand it and give it a topic and discuss it. So it's a case of a man that, whilst he was in Africa, he was in the university and he fell in love with more or less two women. And I think we have to deal with it as regards the weakness. Some men are weak, because I've come to understand that not all of them mean bad, but some are just naturally weak, and some it's because of greed. So what I want us to talk about is it greed? Is it the men's weakness? And then the poor women in question, why don't they stand up for themselves? Why don't they reach out for help? Because this thing keeps happening and it happens. So this man more or less fell in love with two women, because it's difficult now to say who actually is the wife. And then what it's, to be honest with you, is doing my head. But I'll try not to be emotional about it, to be honest. So this young man fell in love with two women. Apparently, one of them was the first one. No matter how, they could be one month or 2 weeks or 3 months senior. One might be senior to the other with months, but it's not possible that I spoke to both of them on the same day. But he was going out with them around the same time. It's like game that men, you know, plays. They play game whilst in the uni, whilst he was young. So he spoke to these two women. One he was deeply in love with, and they pregnant along the course of their relationship. And you know what it is? A student that's supposed to be studying, she got pregnant, she had to abort the pregnancy. So during the abortion, evacuation of the baby or whatever, at whatever point, 3 or 4 months, she developed some complications. And from the complications, her womb was perforated. So it dawned on them that they messed up with her womb. And she couldn't have a child. They told her that it would be difficult for her to have children. And that was the case. So the guy still loved her, but along the line, he was dating other woman. So they finished uni concurrently, and none of the ladies, to A is the best man, best dude in love. To B, best man, best dude in love. They finished uni. This other one, the second one, that's why I titled it the wife and the second wife. Because both of them are wives. So remember the first one was the one he started dating. She got pregnant for him out of wedlock. They were still in school, and then they evacuated or committed abortion, and then so continue with this other lady. So after uni, he got more in the second one. Now the second one got pregnant. They went to the registry. They got married officially. She had a child. The child was about a few months old. The woman, then the guy traveled abroad. He traveled abroad, and he came abroad, and then after like months or almost a year, he settled abroad and then made application for the supposed wife, which is the second wife. Unknown to the second wife, she had a senior, though he didn't marry the senior legitimately, but they were in relationship, and as far as they're concerned, he'd already gone to their family house. They know that she's betrothed to the guy. So he settled abroad, made application for the baby mama, the second one. You can't call her baby mama, because if you want to say, you say she's the legit wife, because he got married to her, made application for her to come to UK. So she came to UK, she joined him, they started living together happily. Unknown to her, or almost concurrently or simultaneously, we don't know. So I can't say simultaneously, but concurrently almost around the same period, he applied for the first one that they committed that abortion for him. So that would have been the first one. If they had been married, she would have been the first wife. But because he took the second one to the altar or to the registry, so he married her legally. So he brought her. So she became the legal wife here. So they were living together. So he now applied for the other one. So at the same time, he was married to two women. One traditional marriage, the other one under the act registry. So both of them are his wives. So he brought the second one was married to him. They were living together. Unknown to her, he made application as a student on some other means for this other woman, the one that the womb was perforated. She came as well to UK, but she was living separately. Meanwhile, remember, this is a very funny story that if you follow me, you understand the gist of the story. We're talking about the wife and the second wife, because we are in a stage that we don't know what the woman should do, especially the one that has the children now, because the table had turned. So the first wife came to UK. She was with him. The second one was outside. Along the line, the first wife that came to UK got pregnant again, had a second child, happily married to her husband. Her husband would go to work, and his nature of work today, he says it's in Scotland tomorrow. No, yeah. He was consummating the other marriage. So she felt my husband was working hard and he was bringing home money. So, and when you are not, she's not unsuspecting. She didn't know, and the parents-in-law didn't show her any inclination that anything is going on. She didn't smell any rat. So the man established two relationships concurrently. So to him and his family, they know he has two wives. To the one at home, she's the only one. To the one outside, the second one that came to UK, she knew that there's the one inside. So usually in a scheme like this, we'll get to it in a play. The man is the game player. He knows what his games are. One of the women will be in the know. The one outside is always in the know. The one inside is always the naive one, keeping the home. So this one inside had two children. Unknown to this man, it was the arrangement between himself and the one that didn't have a baby. That now that my womb had been perforated and I cannot have child or children for you, get yourself pregnant. Get a woman to bring up children for you, and then we'll take the children. So that's the game plan. How stupid, how funny any woman can agree to such, I don't understand. Then the one at home was supposed to be the baby mama, so she manufactured the baby. So along the line, things changed, and the man said to her, domestic violence started. He started picking on her because the wife outside was giving him pressure now to say, now I'm here. I want to come home. This is not our agreement. Our agreement is not for me to be outside. The agreement in the first instance was for this woman to just have a child for you. She was not in the know that I'd taken her to the registry. So it got complicated, pressure on the man, mounted the pressure on the one inside. To cut a long story short, he kicked out the one inside. The pressure mounted so much, she resorted to and usually when they come like that, she was dependent on him as a spouse. So he was threatening her. It got complicated. She got the police involved. She got social services involved. At the end of the day, the man kicked her out. They're separated. Now, what she's done is brought now the number two in the country, the one that's the womb. So that actually, if anybody asks me, she is actually his love. I'm sure that is where his heart belongs. Because they started relationship, but it was because of the condition. Things got complicated, and we thought, okay, now you don't worry. So they kicked out baby mama. Now she's got two children for them. They were actually going to take the children. The man was actually going to take the children from her. But fortunately, some people advised her. She got the police involved. She got social services involved. He was thinking because she doesn't have status and stuff like that, he will be able to take the custody of the children. So the custody went back to their mother. Fortunately, she's outside with some refuge and stuff like that. So the man now is with his wife. Fair enough. Our baby mama or wife number one, or I don't know how you want to place it eventually, because I don't actually know who is number one or number two out of both of them. It looks like one, we don't know. It's only the man that can say the first one that I spoke to at the same time, because from the woman's account, it looks like it was concurrent. It was almost the same time he was dating the two of them. So now she's out with her two children. They've divorced. Where I think we have issues now is the man, obviously, the divorce, the conditions of their divorce or their whatever was the fact that it's not a bad father, that he should have access right to the children. Madam, wife number two, is in the house now, but she doesn't have any child. They've been married, they've tried everything. He doesn't want to. She's now mounting pressure on how to get one of those children, split custody, that the man should fight for access right or custodial right of the children. Now they have not given the custody to him. They're still with their mother, but they are messing the mother's head up so much that she even thinks that's some diabolical means. Aside from that, because the man has access rights. You see, it's a funny story. The man has access rights to the children. So when the children goes to visit The woman in the house takes the man asks the children to be calling wife number two their mother. And that anytime that you come, these are children that are less than 10 years. When you come to the house, she's mommy and she's madam and she's mommy. When their mother makes, maybe she does pop off here for them to go because they go for weekend. I said, if I were, I don't want to judge yet. I'll leave people to see. If they do pop off hair, by the time they come back, the woman at home, the so-called mommy, will loosen it and say, your mother shouldn't do this kind of hair. She keeps, and then she will say things like the children should strip themselves naked. She'll be watching if there's mark on their body. So the children now, they're getting wise, 7 and 9. So they're going to their mother to say they don't feel comfortable. But because of the money, because it's giving her maintenance, because of the maintenance now, the woman could not stop the children going to their father. So it's so messy and complicated. That is the story. But what I want us to discuss tonight, if you're listening to me, is okay. What's what's a wicked word? Thank you very much. It is somebody on Instagram. It is indeed a very wicked word. So, what do you advise this woman to do? For me, the first instance is for men. Please, let's use this opportunity to beg you. I don't know why men you're doing this thing, but it doesn't end well. There's no way they do it that ends well. You're going to mess up yourself. You're going to mess up your future. You're going to mess up your career. You're going to mess up things. I don't know why, and I'll plead with us that we should please. The second thing is, which of these women, because she's outside now, she's not moving on. And I said to her, I don't understand why you're not moving on. She's messed up and she's stuck in her track and she's thinking, men are bad. That is the woman with the children. But my question is, I feel she should fight for her children not going to that house again. Because destiny of children really matters. The arrangement in place has been a selfish arrangement. The guy knew they just needed her to manufacture children for them. So the intention actually was to take the children and kick her out. So the reason why the guy brought her with the children to UK, with the first one to UK, not because he really needed her, he wanted her to bring that child because she wouldn't release the child. She was still young then. She wouldn't release the child without coming. And then it thought, okay, let me have the second one. So they more or less used her for baby making and they kicked her out. So that is the scenario we have. So the issue tonight are things that the major one that is annoying to me is, why would women, who is to blame, and why would women give in to such stupid arrangements? Let's give credit to the one that has the children because she looks like she's the one that doesn't know anything about it. But how would some women, how would you go through such? You know that this man has another woman. We have several women like that. And then a man will give you a condition. I think they are shameless. If a man gives you a condition to keep you in a room or in a house someplace, and you know it's demeaning, you know that your man is with another woman. Under what condition? Status. Most women nowadays, when they bring us or they bring them, it's because they promise you status. I remember I had a case like that as well some years ago. These two women, and our men are so funny. These two women were still the same. They see themselves, they know themselves, and they meet at the store. The man will tell A that if you want to enjoy me, you have to accept B. I know in our fathers, our parents' lives, we know there's polygamy. I'm not oblivious of the fact that there's polygamy, or I'm not myopic or pretending that I don't know. I come from a polygamous home. And from polygamous home, they know we all see ourselves. We know we have stepmothers, stepbrothers, have a stepmothers and have brothers and sisters. We know. But in this instance, you're given a condition, especially when we are young. I just feel it lacks self-respect and dignity. Because no matter what, please drop your comments. What do you think this woman should do? I think I jumped ahead of time to tell you that if it is me, first and foremost, I'll stop my children from going there. I'll stop my children from going there. Losing my children's hair, with stripping my children naked. One woman, uh, Prophet Ketchero, bless you, sir. Amen. Thank you. So what do we think in situation like this? That's the storyline for tonight. So we're talking about wife and the second. I know, and the second wife. I know in Africa we're used to this, but it's not normal. It's not normal, and we should stop pretending that it's normal. One person will be at disadvantage. Now, this innocent woman, she's out. She didn't come to UK to come and stay out. She came to UK thinking she was going out with a man, and the man is her husband, and she settled in the house. Unknown to her, it was all a scheme all along. From the time he married her, he had a plan that he was coming to UK. This other woman was in the background and they hatched the plan together. Women, please, why are we destroying destinies, especially destiny, you see, of our children? If a man does that and you do not know, it's all right. But for you, a woman to agree to such, I feel so. At what stage should one leave? So let's turn the table around. Let's assume that this other woman, because we have cases where A doesn't know B exists. In this case, B knows that A existed. B planned with the man that they should use A for baby mama. And then they got the children, and the children were supposed to, like Sarah and Agar. She was supposed to come and to deliver the children, and they'll come and give it to her, and she will be, and they will kick that one out, knowing that it was the man that sponsored the children. Is the father, is the one that has status in UK. So that was the plan. Unfortunately, some people taught her, and she screamed out to the police, and so the case got twisted. Fortunately, she's got the custody. But in situation like that, at what stage should a woman leave? Please, let's deliberate on it. So I don't want to be talking, the way we present on the Wise Builder. Please drop your comment. At what stage? Oh, sorry. Oh, oops. There are a couple of comments. Oh, sorry. Good evening, Ma. Ama Shamichael. Oh, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm trying to read some comments. Okay. Inema Grace Makabo, bless you, Ma. What a criminal act indeed. I'm trying to read some comments. Exactly, she should withdraw the custody from the ex. Yeah. She's got the custody of the children now, but the man is messing about with that because of, and then when it comes to Africa, the fear of, she doesn't want to be, to be jazz, we call it. She doesn't want to be under, what's it called, to be under spiritual influence. She doesn't want to be, I'm trying to use look for the word to use. She doesn't want to be manipulated spiritually, so she fear for herself. And at the moment, it looks like she's even losing her sanity because she's walked up, she's on antidepressant, she's not okay at all. So she feels they are messing up with her mind because they threaten her that if anything happens, she's going down for it. So because of that, she kept quiet for a while, and that's the reason why she's not withdrawing the children. So okay, there's no more comment. So I don't know what could she do further. Like, I agree with what that person said. As for me, that's why we should know God and be strong, because when we are not strong ourselves, we bow down to all these different whims, and we out of fear they threaten us. If you look at her, she was deceived into this marriage, and she came to UK. If he had been after her marriage, but she realized that the woman had been there even before she came on board. So at the time the man was marrying her, he was just marrying her. He had a plan that he was coming to UK and they know they've gone through places, they knew from that abortion, from that pregnancy that was aborted, that the woman's womb was perforated or removed or something. I can't remember. I think it was quite bad that they had to remove it, or but it was so dented that they told her, except there's a miracle from God, she can't have a child again. So because of this now, they both agree that okay, look for a woman, and this woman just came along the line. So the man loved her. Unfortunately for her, she was so vulnerable. She gave in to the love, and she taught, and to the extent of her families, and they were wedded. They did wedding. So even as at the time they are going to the altar, is deception. So the question we are asking or posing now is, at what point should a woman, usually both of them, I would say both of them, if I were both of them, to be honest with you, both of them should have left together. They should have left. But I found out that some of us women, we enjoy this kind of thing. We enjoy it. Some, I'm reading a comment, Mary Joy Faoye, she should stop her children from visiting them and move on with her life. The so-called wife might plan even for the children. If they need let the children that desperate, they should go for adoption. Thank you very much. That's one of the first thing I said is, I will not allow my children to go to another woman's house. I would not. I wouldn't. I would not. And I'm saying it. I wouldn't. Because a woman that doesn't love me will mess up with my children. Even if she wants them, because she's realized now that she can't have the custody of the children, then she's going to mess with them. You know, the Bible says children are the heritage of the Lord. I don't know why women will mess about with this. And the fruit of the womb, your children are its reward. He said, like arrows. I think that's Psalm 127 or so. I think so. And as arrow, I'm paraphrasing or I'm quoting from head. He says, as arrows in the hand of a mighty man are the children of your youth. Those are your arrow. You don't joke with your arrow. Once your arrow is broken, you're broken in life for life. So when it comes to children, people that know me, I don't joke. I don't joke with my children. I don't joke with my children. They're all I've got. So they are your arrows. So when we become sentimental and you allow your children to go to a strange woman, I first said it. I said, a man that's already broken the hedge. The Bible says, whoever breaks the hedge, the serpent will bite. If you break the hedge, you've broken the hedge. That's your business. So if I have my children, you wanted to take my children, you couldn't achieve that, then I'm outside suffering. Now you're fighting custody, and they said, okay, the children, you should have visiting right. Occasionally they go weekend. The woman said by the time the children comes, if she does shuku for them, this other lady would have loosened the hair and she will make her own style. So it's like they are now, this is mommy, and the man will be telling, yes, when you come here, she's mommy. This is the mommy, that this is your mother. You're even confusing children. That is abuse. You're messing up with those children psychologically. By the time they get home, they start telling mommy, hey, daddy said we should be calling her mommy and that she's the real mommy. Can you imagine all this rubbish? And then we take these children there. So, hello, Taiwo, right? Bless you, my darling sister. So, what should she do further? Thank you, Mary John. I really appreciate that. I agree with that. She should stop allowing the children to go. But I think because of the maintenance, but what she's saying is, if she stops, then he won't give maintenance. And she doesn't want to go and report, because they're trying, social services, they're trying to put the maintenance order in place, but she's refusing because the man is saying, now during this coronavirus thing, this man said he's followed himself. So he's followed himself and it's not working. So he's now saying there's no money for her. And then she's depressed. And I'm like, is it that there's something wrong with us women sometimes? Please, women, I know most of the time we try to be home keepers. It's good for you to keep your home, but you have to keep your life as well. What I'm saying, I said, is emotional because I've been through it personally myself. When I have the story, it's just this, the facts are just different, but it's just the story of my life. And I thought this is absolute rubbish. For me, I didn't take it for day one. And I stood my ground because I didn't marry somebody that was married. When I married a single guy, though he was married, I didn't know. But the moment I knew, I stood my ground. I married you in the church before the Lord. You met me as a single in the church. I don't care who's outside. As long as the parent lied to me that you're single, and you lied before God that you are single all your life. As far as I'm concerned, you are single. You said you are single, you are single. So I blocked, and people thought I was wicked. I said, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't take it one day. And I didn't take it. But I found out that some people, women are convenient because they give them some conditions that don't worry, you just keep quiet. We are bidding our time. Don't worry, you just stay here. We will deal with her. Don't worry. So women, let's stop being cheap. Because I thought at one point, I'm reading a comment. Mommy Grace Magabo, thank you. She should choose between maintenance and her children. Thank you very much. Because the person that told me this matter, and when I was speaking, I said to her, let's be very factual. I won't say because I know you through her. She should make a choice. I think it's about greed as well, where you don't know. Because sometimes when I hear stories, you kind of question in the middle. No matter how sweet the woman outside or the inside paints the story, any reasonable person who should be able to decipher to say, okay, in between, who do we think story, you were brought. As far as I'm concerned, I believe that story from the time of the marriage to when she was brought here. But where I have concern now is, I think, the money aspect of it, because she doesn't want to let go. And that was why, if it's not the neighbors and people involved, they would not even involve the police. So now you divorced. You're on your own. So why are you still holding on? As far as I'm concerned, it would have been the end of the relationship. And people said, oh no, that she shouldn't use the children. I know we hear such things, that we shouldn't use the children as a weapon. But she's not using the children as a weapon. And I think that's where she's confused a bit, because she's thinking, you see, you cannot play to the gallery when it comes to children's life or your destiny. In this situation of life, okay, Taiwo said God always provides. Yeah, thank you very much. God will provide. You see, in this situation, when you're in this situation, all you have to first understand is you only have God. Hold on to God and be steadfast. You see, people will not like you, because everybody, the guy's family, they will still say to you, it's not nice. Even your parents, sometimes our parents' decisions when it comes to things like this, it's not necessary, in all fairness, because their times differs from where we are. In their, if it were the time of my mother, she would just tell you, don't worry. There's something they say in Yoruba, Nisuru, just be patient, don't worry, things will no. There are some things that we're not fighting, but you have to call a spade a spade. The lives of those children really, really matters. And this man does not, I continue to say it, is not worth it. It's not worth the stress. It's not, because the children's destiny matters. He has another wife at home. He's made his intention clear that he doesn't want you, and he kicked you out. So you don't want me, but you want my children. So now the bargain is they should have the children one, and he's promising her heaven and earth to give her the children. Taiwo right. If he's supporting his children with conditions, then that's wrong. He should support his children of his own free will. Thank you. Yeah, he's supporting them, whether even free will or no free will. His intentions are wrong. The intentions of having those children in the first instance are wrong. For the sake of those that came, it was a case of a man that concurrently was dating two women. So his first love, his womb was perforated when they were in the uni. She got pregnant for him in the uni, but because she was not graduated, the parents shouldn't know, so they aborted the pregnancy. Because of that, she lost her womb, and her womb was perforated. We don't know, but it's confirmed that she can't have children. So the man was in love with her, and they reached agreement that, okay, don't worry, go and get children for another woman. So they carried on. It's a devilish plan that they carried on together. I'm reading from Instagram. sorry, maybe she's not able to, sorry, maybe she's not able to stand economically because she may not be able to work as she should because of the children. It's just a pathetic. That is it. That's one of the, thank you, man. It's one of the problem that we have. She's unable, but we have to understand that life matters. I know one of the issues with that could be economic reason because she's relying on the man and the man knows. He knows. But to be honest with you, no matter the economic reason, I will not allow my children. We are not saying she's using her children as a weapon, but there's securities now. Anything can happen to the destiny of those children. We're talking about children's destiny, economic or no economic, finance or no finance. What if they mess up with those children's destiny? How would you really? I cannot even imagine any woman, you releasing your children to the hand of another woman, especially if it's your co-wife when you are alive. I don't see any reason in it. I don't buy that. I'm reading another comment from Facebook. Taiwo writes, you can't win with the in-laws in a situation like this. She needs to work harder for her children. Yes, the in-laws are the ones behind it. In a situation like that, they manipulate. To be honest with you, when people mess up, I just leave them. If I share from my own story, when I married, it was the same thing. My husband had children before my marriage, and I didn't know. So close to the marriage, we found out that he had children, and we stopped the counseling in church. And the pastor said, "Okay, I should go to Nigeria." And I went to Nigeria, and I found that, and they told me what I wanted to hear, that the woman had gone, and that she only had children. There was no marriage. And then we came back to UK. We married. So at the realization of the fact that it was a scam, the fact that they lied, they deceived me, I love them as in my in-laws till they die, but I didn't resort to them about my decision again because I know they're going to manipulate again. They are not on my side. So it was a part of a scheme. So I don't understand what she's doing. I will not allow I don't trust people like that. That's my issues. Once you breach trust, I find it difficult to trust you. So I love them, I respected them, but I will not go and tell them that they should advise me in any matter because I know it's not going to be a genuine matter. They knew. So they manipulated, they are in support of the other woman, and they planned everything. So eventually, when I realized the other woman came to UK and everything, I knew they're behind it. So I just thought the only thing I have here is my God. And I held on to my God, to my marriage. I loved my husband. I told him, as far as I'm concerned, what is happening there is madness and I can't be bothered. But I held on to my home and I held on to my children. So I wouldn't see any reason why this woman will, because of money or anything, still allow those children. That's why I said to her, as far as I'm concerned, stop the children. But she wouldn't want. She said, oh, they'll say I'm using the children against him. Are you using the children against him? No. It's just that you're doing best for your children now. Taiwo writes, I will not allow my kids to go there. Okay. Mommy Macabo, she should go and walk, move out of the city. Thank you very much. Even where she is not where the guy is now. She's trying to move on, but the guy keeps threatening. There's a lot of threats from back home. There's a lot of manipulation, there's spiritual things going on. And they're saying if she doesn't, he brought her to UK. And that's, the way our people, the way we work in Africa. At the end of the day, the story will be manipulated to the fact that, to the extent that if you are not careful, when I've been in such situations, it will get to a stage, you are in the right, you start thinking, am I in the wrong? Should I remember there was a time it got to a stage that I just thought, okay, I think I fought enough. If you can't beat them, join them. I got tired and just like, okay, maybe I should just accept that, okay, this woman is there. But I'll pray and my spirit will say no. So I think one of the problem with her is she's not strong enough. And the second thing is she's thinking about the economic factor and thinking that, okay, if I lose, because the man is giving her money and she doesn't want to take him to, she doesn't want to go for the maintenance order because she knows they've told her if she does that, because the guy has he has money. So she too is thinking, oh, when you have that entitlement right, I'm the legal wife, but he's married to both of you, one traditionally, and there's even nothing you can do about that. One traditionally, one according to the law. So both of them, traditional marriage is as good as, in fact, it's as valid as your marriage under the act. Marriage under the act, the registry is just you registering it according to the law. Obviously, in things like this, it takes precedence over the court one. But the issue is both of them are the wife. He's divorced her now, so she's no longer part of the scheme. That is it. She shouldn't be seen or walking along the line as if she's part of the family. So I don't understand, but by and large, generally for somebody that your case is not like this, and you find yourself in this situation, please move out. I'm telling you, move out. You see, no matter how you do it, you'll be messed up. The earlier, and please listen to me, I'm saying it, if anybody wants to take me up on it, take me up on it. The earlier you set yourself free, the better for you. I'm reading one or two comments. Taiwo Wright said, my ex-brother-in-law did the same. The mother of the children eventually died. Oh, she was a young girl, so naive, and they took advantage of her, and she died before the age of 30. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Things like this makes me cry. It hurts me to the bone. Thank you, Taiwo, for sharing this. They take advantage. The earlier you go, your life and destiny is messed up. You see, what we need is the courage to move on. The courage, and it is God that will give you the courage. Speak to people if you are listening to me. If you don't have to talk to me, look for people in your community, your church, that you can confine it. It takes prayer, it takes strength, but move on. The first year will be rocky, you'll balance, and you'll be okay, you'll be free. Else they will manipulate you, waste the better part of your life. By the time you realize it, you're doomed. God forbid you will not be doomed. I'm reading another comment. In Kibam, I don't think we should be too hard on the lady with the kid. She might be scared how she will cope financially, and also not having family support system here. Hopefully she gets the right help and move on with her life. Thank you, Inky. But you see, the problem with one of the things that most of us fail to do is, you see, you have at some point in life, everybody has to face their fears. If you don't face your fear will kill you. You can't run from what is running from you. And that's why I'm speaking on this. If anybody is in this situation, face your fears. The first 1 year will be rough, but with good support, if you speak to the right people, speak to me. There are several refuge. There are several places that will balance you in this country. Even if you don't have status, if the man has status and does this to you, please speak to me. You will get your indefinite leave. That's domestic violence. You will get your leave. Don't let them manipulate you. Please. Because this kind of thing messes us up. I thank you, Inky. What most women think of is, where am I going to start? They are going to laugh at me. You see, the fear of the unknown is what is killing us. You have to face your shadows. Look at preach on a message on Sunday. Dare to check the mirror. You need to check the mirror. You need to check. I dare people to go back home and check the mirror of your life, spiritual and physical, to see where you are and take action. It's my son. If you go on my Facebook page, you see the message on Sunday. You dare to check the mirror. Most of us fear to check the mirror. And until to check the mirror and look at yourself and say the truth to yourself, we are still walking in darkness. So this woman needs to hold herself. It won't be that bad. She's got a leave to remain. So once except she's a lazy woman, you got your leave, you got 2 children, you are go and walk. Go and walk. Leave him alone. The way I think about that thing is, most of us have talked because we think he has money and we're not moving on. I always say to people, what if he's dead tomorrow? Would you not? If I had not been independent in my life, when my husband died, I would have been crying and looking for somebody to feed me. But I've always been on my feet. So obviously, it dented me up and down for like a year. For a year, I was not myself. I was not focused. I couldn't do anything. But after a year, I got my strength and I started bouncing back on my feet. Because my strength is not in any man. So if you're a woman, please, there's always a starting point. We can balance you. God will balance you. Once you have your children, the destiny of children, if you enter into a manipulative, my first video on YouTube was my marriage was a scam. It was, because I entered it, and after my first child, Before I realized what I was inside, I'm like, okay, now. So it's draining. The first year after my realization, some of my friends are online, they knew. I was crying about. I was always crying, just thinking my life is doomed. Where am I going to start? And that's usually the case. We're like, where am I going to start? But you're going to start somewhere. The good news is you are going to start somewhere. So don't stay in any abusive relationship. And you know what these guys does? People like that, they are so sweet, smooth. They will come to you, they will reassure, don't worry, tomorrow will be. For those in this kind of situation, they are divorced now, she knows. Because they were going to manipulate and take the children. But along the line, she got to know about their scheming and she told somebody and they cried for help. But to some, the man will tell you, don't worry, you know, I love you. We're just working on something. Sorry, pardon me. And we don't know when submission is different from when you are standing your ground and fighting for your destiny. Pardon me, I'm reading another comment. I will write, she should learn to say no without feeling guilty and she needs to stop relying on him for money. Thank you very much. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. You see, guilt comes when you have done wrong. You are the wrong side. You shouldn't have guilt. If a man manipulates you, if a man deceives you, if a man lies to you, and you found yourself in such situation, and at the end of the day, it's manipulated things and they've sent you out, you are no longer together. You see, you don't allow your children to go. There's nothing anybody will tell me that will warrant anybody saying such man should have access to my children. You can't have access to my children. You can't have access to my children, and I won't allow my children to go out with you. Even if I was in the house, I won't allow my children to go with you without maybe bring them. You have to protect the destiny of your children. The Bible says, as arrow in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of your youth. You know what arrow does? Arrows, maybe you don't know. I'm not preaching here, but I'm angry. Arrows are the weapon of a warrior. When they want to shoot, when they want to eat a target, your children are your weapon. You should trust them out. They must not be dented, they must not be broken. If you shoot them out, they must not miss target, they must not misfire, they must not backfire self. They must go and eat target and come back. So you allow some women to manipulate your children's destiny because of money? It's absolutely unheard of. Women, I know most of us find ourselves in manipulative marriage. Some in a marriage. There was, I think, a year or two ago, I on Wise Builder, I spoke about marriages made in hell. There are some marriages that are made in hell as well. That no matter what you do, you know, it comes to you that I'm in a wrong marriage. I always call it one chance. You know, you get to a state, dare to check the mirror of your life. I don't know why this is coming back again. Dare to check the mirror, and when you realize you're in one chance, no matter what is involved, move. Because remember something that I always say: we all live once. We only have one life. Taiwo, right? The other woman is not a nice. She's not a nice person because you know how women think they're entitled. Yeah, to her, she has justification. This man impregnated her. She lost her womb. The man promised that maybe during the operation or when they had the realization that the womb was gone, you know, all those love, they promised themselves, they vowed to themselves that they are not going to leave themselves. And the man said, I will stay by you, I will now marry you. Then at some point they realized, okay, they needed children. So she said, okay, we are not leaving ourselves, but I want you to have children. I understand. She loves her. She was just like Sarah. Okay, let's have children by another woman. And the man schemed and hatched the plan. If he had been one child, if I were the man, I wouldn't be in such a situation. Let her be pregnant of one, take it or whatever, but deceiving her, bringing her to UK. The only thing that is, I knew another one. I don't want to mention the area where I used to live before. This woman, the man. So, and funny, when you hear the age of those guys that are involved in this, you wonder, you think they're older men. No, this one then was about 30, 29, 30. And I remember there was a day I sat with the woman and I saw the thing. And I'm like, this little thing, this was a couple of years ago, about 5, 6 years ago, this little thing with this woman, and I looked at this other woman, pretty. But It's messed her up to the extent that she said she cannot fall in love with another man. This one too brought two of them into the country at the same time, one in A. So he married. What he did for in this other instance, they do it so much. I'm reading a comment and I'll read it. Taiwo writes, she will find herself going round and round in. Thank you very much. She will find herself going round in circle, Pastor. Sister Tolani, bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Taiwo writes, how much is the money? It can't be worth putting my children at risk. Thank you very much. There to check the mirror of your life. Yes, ma'am. That's it. My last Sunday message. If you go on my YouTube, Facebook page, you will see it. Or my YouTube. Dare to check the mirror. Most of us don't like checking the mirror, but you have to face the image you're seeing there. If it's not the right thing, then you need strength to change it. You need. We can't afford to be running from our shadows. This man, what he did, the one I knew where I used to, before I moved down here, he brought the first one. These two, you at some point, because of the age of the children, you don't know who is the first wife or the second wife. You don't know who is the senior. Because I used to sit with the junior one, supposed junior, because she came after. She was the second to enter the country. This man got married, he brought the first one in. Concurrently, was going out with the two of them in Nigeria. Young boy, then was less than 30, was about 28. These women were their 24, 20, naive, innocent women that have their future so bright and ahead of them. A guy messing them up. So this guy was going out with the two of them. So he married the first, obviously with UK. It's only one person that can be legal. So he brought one to the country, and then what he did was he got a friend of his to marry the other one and bring her as a wife. Do you understand? And it was those period like just 2 years before you know it. We're online. We can say so much regarding immigration and stuff like that. Both of them were in the country, and they got to the country. So she finished her status. She got her British passport. The other one got it. So he rented a house for her. So some days he just goes there. When this lady is talking to me, he talks to my body like this, as pretty as you are. Sometimes he doesn't go more than once in a week. And when he goes there, the woman says sometimes when she cooks, I say, where did you cook? You don't even know how to cook. There's no more salt. And he walks out. She'll be pleading. And when she spoke to me, I looked at her. I counseled her. I said, babe, you just have to leave this marriage. He annoys me. I look at the boy like this. I felt like giving him a slap on his face. And I looked at the woman. I said, some up courage. But no. In the course of it, she had a second child. I just heard I was pregnant. I'm like, not again. And she had a second baby and she stopped. It's just because she was okay. It's like falling in love with the wrong guy. And these two women, innocent women, as early stage of their life, they are involving in unnecessary spiritual battle. When you are in such, you just entangle yourself with spiritual battle. No matter how much a woman is, no woman wants to have a co-wife or another woman outside. The Bible talks in James, says, where there's envy and strife, I think it's James 1, maybe verse 5 or 6, I'm not sure, but it's James 1. He said, where there's envy and strife, there's all form of evil works. All forms of evil work. There's no way two women will be together. There won't be envy, there won't be strife. And then evil works comes in. Please, women, if you're listening to me, I feel so bad because you have to protect the destiny of your children. Especially in this woman's case, and I hope this man will listen to this video at some point. If you listen to this video, there's something wrong with your head for doing what you have done. But you need to ask for forgiveness. But for this woman, hold on to the destiny of your children. Leave money, no matter how much is giving you. What I always say, and it's a driving force in my life, is what if that person is not in my life? What if that person is not in my life? Your life, you don't depend on anybody. Depend on God and your hard work. Stop being lazy. Don't look for cheap money. Work hard. And then see God blessing you. The Bible says, yea, it will bless the work of our hand. It doesn't bless our sleep. It blesses the work of your hand. When you work hard, the Lord will bless you. If you don't work, there's no blessing. So All these thing about he wants money, I don't understand that. You can't, because of money, ruin the destiny of the children. Look at what Taiwo wrote there, that in such case the woman died. You just see that one day you sleep and something happened and the enemy of that person dies. What if something happened to those children and they are poisoned? Spiritual poisoning. I'm reading for Luke Adewoye's comment. She owed her children the duty of care in this situation. Children can be in a manipulative environment like this. She should relocate to another area and look after her children. She has lived to remain here. Sorry, I'm reading. She has lived to remain. Oh, this is it's not showing. She has lived to remain. Okay, she has lived to remain. She should apply for benefit or get a job. I can advise best interest of her children. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll refer her to you if she's willing to. You can hear from that lady Folika, she's a financial advisor and benefit advisor. You know, please let us remember we are not alone. Women, let's come together. Speak out. Don't speak to people that's going to laugh with you. The unfortunate thing is, don't speak to people that are not going anywhere. I've realized that some people are not going anywhere in life. To be honest with you, I don't move with failures. I'm really sorry. I look at people that I know have crossed the boundary I'm trying to cross. I won't flock with somebody that I know is not going anywhere, because you can't help my lot. Let us see people that you know will not laugh at you. People that that has your genuine interest. Don't tell your friends so that your story is not in the air. Anyway, they know and they are laughing at you and they are deceiving you in the first instance. So don't bother with them. Hold your destiny. If anybody laughs at you today, they will laugh at you tomorrow when they see where you are going. Don't worry about that. Focus. Hold those two children. Hold on to God. Pray for the destiny of those children. But that man has no good plan for those children. I'm telling you, the plan has nothing good for those children in store. So let us be careful when destiny of, you see, if this woman, I remember there was a time I dealt with a divorce, a violence, social services case with violence, domestic violence. And then the guy, I think was beating the woman. So the woman ran with the children. So I got involved as the pastor. We were talking, and social services came to me. Then the woman stayed with me for a while, myself and my little son. And social services came to our house. She said something, and that was how I knew. Thank God we have a social worker in life. So that's all that. Thank you very much. The social worker said something. He said she knows that woman, and she's gone back actually. The woman said she knows that woman is going to go back to that man's house. He said, I don't have any, according to her, I don't have, she said, I know you Africans. She said, I don't have any problem in her going back to her husband. He said, my problem is they don't dent or destroy the life of this son, because it will be an abuser very soon, because he's witnessing it. And that is the fact. You see, most of the time we think about ourselves, but with Instagram people, please jump to look for Dolapo Agorowandeni on Facebook, please. Instagram will not last longer than an hour. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. See you. See you all. Thank you. God bless you. See me on Facebook. Thank you. So what we are trying to say is, beg your pardon. You see, they understand the fact that for us Africans, we like suffering. You will not suffer in Jesus' name. But these innocent children has to be protected. You can move, like they said, move from where you are. UK is big. Go from Scotland to Dagenham. Go from Dagenham to Leeds. Move around. Live where they are. Hold your God. And God will vindicate you. Especially if God realize that, you see, it's easy for you to know who God. You see, one thing I say, and I used to call on in the time of my need, because you see, there's some things you tell people and they don't believe it. I always call him Jehovah Sephat. He's Jehovah Sephat. He's a righteous judge. The God that does not stay behind lies. Anybody can lie and manipulate. You hold on to God, and very soon God will prove. He's a God. He's a God that nobody. You see, 2-3 people can lie and manipulate, but there's somebody that tries the heart. He sees the reins of the heart. That's Jehovah Sephat. He's a rightful judge. So I say to people, let's judge. Don't prove any case. Don't fight anybody now. Hold on to your children. and run for your life. Run for your life. Run for the future of those children. Protect those children because this destiny has been manipulated. And the woman, like somebody said, she's selfish. A woman that can plan such will go to any level. She doesn't have children of her own. So it's a case of it's either I have them or they're gone. So if you play trick with your husband, and start manipulating children's life, I don't understand. I'm reading another comment. Mr. Tola, self-reliance is very crucial. As a woman, you need to safeguard your children from all forms of abuse. Thank you very much. We need to be self-reliant. Please, not we can do all things. When Bible says you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, is you will reach out and the Lord will strengthen you. Don't fear about tomorrow. Face your fears. Don't run away from your fear. All this fear will just be 6 months. You find out that the moment you are able to stand to say enough, that is your liberation. We need to be liberated. Olusha, you die. They will celebrate your success tomorrow. Hold on to Christ and do your best. Thank you very much. When we're in this situation, please let us hold on to Christ. You see, the fear of the unknown is people are going to laugh at me. Where am I going to start? Where am I going to get money? I understand for those that do not have status. They even that speak to me, speak to people like Foluke Adewoye. Listen, we work in this. Even if you don't have status, if the man has status, once you have a child for him, speak up. Most of these women, the man always says, if you speak, I won't do. Ignorance kills. Speak up. Call Citizen Advance Bureau. Know your rights. They won't hold you on the phone. Just call. Say a friend of mine is having this situation. Call me. Don't say it's you. Pastor D, I want to find advice. A friend of mine. I won't ask the name. I don't ask people the name. People call me with several numbers. I don't care. Just get advice for yourself. Sort yourself out. If you speak to somebody else, but a problem that you approach is what you will solve. Let's stop, especially when you know that you're a victim of scam or manipulation, or even if such is not your case, you're a victim of abuse, and you're thinking, and the man is saying, if you speak, it's a lie. If a man marries you, and don't you see, if you use it to your advantage, I always say something, and I took it from my mentor. If you use the law of the land to fight your husband unnecessarily because you want status or money, there's a lot of law of God. God will punish you. What we are saying is not to be abused. It's not for you to be mean and then start using the law against your husband. But if you fall as a victim, or you fall as a victim of domestic abuse, and a man is abusing you, speak up. You are going to be resolved. Things are going to be, it's not as bad as you think. All you need to do, you will get your status. Don't let him deceive you that if you speak, they will carry you. Nobody's carrying you. If you're a victim of domestic abuse and you're in a marital relationship and the man has status, because of the DV, you get your indefinite leave. Well, there's a way you go about it. So speak up. Speak up and help yourself and help your children. Especially when you know there's manipulation, when you know destinies of children are involved, when you know that children's life are being manipulated or things are happening. Please, I beg of us in the mighty name of Jesus. In the case of this woman, we have said it, both of them are selfish. But just in case that yours is not like this, but you find yourself in scam or victim of a scam, there's so much to be done. And that was a question I asked that, let's assume these two women. So before we round up in the next 5 minutes, please, let's assume, I'm trying to see if there's comment. She needs wealth of information and support to move on. The men lie a lot and make the woman afraid. She can be supported. Thank you very much. In things like this, the men are so manipulative, will come to you. Some days they are so remorseful and say, okay, you know what? If you say something, you are going to put me in trouble. Some days they will threaten you. Manipulators and abusers, they are schemers. So don't let them play with our intelligence. When you start thinking, I say it, when you start thinking in a marriage and you're unable to sleep, dare to check the mirror of your life. Go and listen to my message of Sunday. It's kind of reflective, and God knows I didn't plan it. I actually took out of all my life scenario, I actually took this one about 4 hours before because I've been so busy. Please Please and please and please, let us face our fears. You see, like I said before, we round up in the next 5 minutes. Should a woman, let's assume that their case had not gone to this stage, a woman find out that she's not the only one in the man's life. You see, you don't have an excuse if you know a man has a wife or married before, and you are number two, and you now start doing your scheming. Forget about that. We are not talking about you because you know. But if you married a man and you are not aware of the scheme, and you meet yourself in this kind of scheme, please, at what point should A and B, because both A and B sometimes are, how would I say, they are victims. Sometimes both of them are victims. I see some men that are so clever, is lying to A, is lying to B. In this case, A and the man, no, B and the man, they had a plan. They hatched their plan together. And that's why it is so devilish of both of them. But in some cases, it's the man that is a manipulator. Is, you know, there are some men that just polygamist. And I don't have any problem if you're a polygamist. Let them know you're polygamist. I grew up in a polygamous home. My father does not have any wife outside. He brings all his wife home. We know ourselves. All the children, we know ourselves. You will be pregnant in the house. We will not. We all know ourselves. There's a big house. Everything was okay for them. The wives know. So is it that you are ready to stay or you are ready to go? The day he sees you or wherever he meets all his girls, he brings them home. We see them. We are looking at them like this. We are starting. If you like, use your eye to eat the word. That's your problem. He will tell you that's my new catch. The one that wants to stay will stay. Those are polygamists that has got guts. But what we have nowadays is they want to be monogamous and they are polygamous. So you cannot deceive women. Let a woman know if she wants to go into polygamy, fair enough. If she doesn't want, but manipulating a woman. So at what stage of this woman's life do they find themselves? I'm going to read from Sister Tola, she's a social worker online. So at what stage, if you find yourself in such a scheme, should a woman leave? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Most women find out after their first children. They find that well into the marriage. The men are so clever. So should they try to find out who is in the man's life? Should they try to find out, or immediately you find out, you should just go? I don't know. What do we think about this thing? Because it's getting, a man died, was it last year? I know I've been in Doncaster. I think it's 99. Yeah, I think it was last year or so. I had the story as well. I thought the woman at home until I spoke to her because I was called to support her by a brother-in-law. This woman, she married the man, and the man was so clever, and she did not know that there was a woman outside. The woman outside does not even know that there's a woman inside. It was that bad. A young man too, in his 40s, that died last year. So these things are prevalent nowadays within African things. And now with coronavirus and all these things, when your husband starts telling you he's got contract in Scotland, his weekend in Scotland, another weekend, you better keep an eye. Keep an eye very well. I'm telling you, when there's Scotland today, in another 2 weeks, we have to go on 3 days. You know, my company is sending me, you are the only one with the company. And you know, unfortunately, the children are young. Most of the women can't follow them. So let's stop being I'm not saying your husband is cheating on you. I'm just saying keep an eye out. And don't snoop around him. Keep an eye out. And once you find out, I think the best thing is if you are in a manipulative marriage. I'm not saying if your husband is cheating you, no. If you married, we see men that does extra G or whatever they call it. Try and work things out. Stay by your man. Fight for your marriage, obviously. But if your marriage is such like we discussed, I think you need to move for the sake of those children. Usually when you move, because I've experienced it, usually when you move, the man will stick out for who he wants. You find that he doesn't even want you. He's just using you. If you leave and he begs and he follows you, you are easy. Then work things out. But if you just stay there, if you don't take a step, you can't change it. I'm reading a comment before we Tola, if you refuse to safeguard your children and continue to expose them to risk, you're likely to have your children removed by social services. Thank you very much. Pastor Stephen, bless you, sir. That's true. That's a social worker talking. We have to safeguard these children. Nobody says your home should be, we didn't say it in the first instance that your home should be messed up. But what you should do is to establish what you wanted in life, to establish your situation. You should take a lead. I'll give you an example about my life. When I realized that there was another woman in the life of my husband, I was pregnant of my second child. And I realized I prayed and I fasted 21 days and I was like, God, my mind that used to tell me then you're going to die because my neck was just like this. But I was like, this is not it. And then all I received from the Lord was I should move. I received from the Lord I should move. And people, Mrs. Afoleta Adewo is online. She was there. She knows. Sorry to put you on the spot. I'm just saying it. So I moved. I packed my bag. I just waited to have my baby. He was 6 months old. With my mind that with myself, one day I fasted, I prayed, and I just packed. And I went to jump on my things in Dagenham. I moved base. I moved from. So don't say Middlesex and I moved to Dagenham. I moved. And then I went to my sister's house. But my husband came. He came begging me, we resolved things, and we started all over again. But if I had not moved at that time, then I was a party. That means you. So don't go into manipulation. Stay your ground. What you want is what you wanted. And my thing was, I didn't marry somebody that was married before. I married somebody that was told was not married. So how can I, after having children, you now dump a woman on me that she's been there? It's not possible. So we need to get our bearings very right. Pray to God, receive the strength. I received the strength. I didn't know God was going to use that as reformation. He was going to use that to correct a lot of things. If I stayed there, the woman was next door. I was there. I just thought this is madness. This is madness. So as at that time, I was just 6 months. I just had 6 months baby, a 3-year-old and another 6 months. And my world was crumbling. Everything was crumbling. But all I knew was I had God. Thank God I had a good family support. And I just thought, guys, I just have to move. I've had enough. Because this is not my plan. This is not my future. This is not my ministry. This is not my purpose. But God has a way of doing things and realigning things. But the destiny of your children, I move because security of my children, I'll walk and I'll see the woman staring at me. You're going to kill yourself if you continue like that. There's going to be manipulation spiritually. There's going to be manipulation physically. You see, you have to fight for your children. You have to fight for your life. Life is just like this. Please, I'm particularly interested because when I had this, my heart bled because it's like saying my story in another form. And several women have been like this that have had things like this. And when I say to them, some of them are like, you don't understand. I understand. With this story, I understand and I see myself in it. So please, woman, as you're listening to me, cut off the tie from this man. Cut it off completely. You don't hold him the right to see your children. He shouldn't see your children because the children were given birth to manipulate. They wanted to steal the children from you to give to that other woman. God had vindicated you. Now, stop allowing your children to go there, else the children's destiny will be truncated. You just lose on your children or you die. Because if they kill you eventually, they'll be able to have the custody of those children. Peradventure, that's what they are planning. So owe to your children, owe to God. Peradventure, God has a new beginning for you. Let us please be careful. I don't know if anybody has a word or two to say. I'm rounding up. For the sake of some of us that you're listening to me, I preached a message on Sunday. It's on my Facebook page. Dare to check the mirror. Most of us run to face the mirror of our life. I did it that time and I went into the Lord. 21 days fasting before God and man. I just had a baby. Can you imagine somebody breastfeeding and doing 21 days fasting? By the time my boy was 6 months, I think I started it close to 2 weeks, just about 6. No, actually I finished it 6 months exclusive breastfeeding and I stopped the exclusive breastfeeding and I went in 21 days fasting because I'm like, yes, I moved 7. I remember it was 7 months when I moved to that. And I said, God, and I had God, this is not it for me. You cannot tell me this is what I prayed. So we need that inner strength. We need that spiritual strength. So you think you're alone, you're not alone. Some of us have gone through this. Some do not have the grace to say it, but I have the grace because that's my call to share my life experience and talk about it, to use it to change people's lives, to let people know that you can with God. It's God. You can't do this journey by yourself. But if any one of us, especially women, we find ourselves in this kind of trickish situation, hold on to God. Listen to God first. Peradventure, God will tell you to stay. For me, I had the peace. God told me to stay. He told me to stay even after I moved. And I stayed. And the Lord showed me the course He was going to take for my life. It's difficult. A lot of people call me stupid and everything when I took him back. But even my family were almost going to kill me. They're like, you're stupid, you're easy. But let me tell you something. The most important thing is in this kind of a situation for your children, take care of your children. Oluseyi Dara, it's good to seek God in every situation. Hear Him to know the next step. Thank you, ma. Thank you very much. Foluke Fason Adewoye, she should get help and support. It's not new matter under the sun. Thank you very much. You know, she knows my story. It's not new matter under the sun, but you need to have the right people in your life. You need to have right counsel. You see, the Bible says, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. There's nothing that's not happening to some or one of us. Some people do not have the grace to share it. Some people are sharing it, their story. Please dare to check the mirror of your life. Face your shadow, face your fear. You can only face it once, and the moment you have grip of it, let's talk about it. What is the worst that can happen to you? That's how I think. When I look at, is it that good? You see, when you dare to check the mirror of your life, you see yourself in the mirror, you see yourself, you either get it better or get it worse. You either stay like that or then you move on to the right direction. So I pray that the Lord will help us. But this woman, please run away from this man. And if you are any woman, you find yourself in this kind of situation, please leave. And for you women, that you make yourself a second woman and a man is manipulating you and putting you in one room, scheming you, you have to beg God for forgiveness. Most of us women, we do that because of status, because of money, because of whatever the man is promising you. You are outside scheming that the one inside should fail. Remember that you've got children. You've got children. What goes around comes around. You shouldn't do that with any man. Don't do that. I see that happening several times. In this kind of a situation, is one person has to be in the know. One person, if you see the man, if he's in the middle of two, one is at home, one is outside. Is that the one at home knows and they are both scheming the one outside, or the one outside knows and they are both scheming the one inside? One of them and the man knows. What I always think about, what is going on in the head of the one outside or inside, the one in the know? What do you think you're doing? You're manipulating another woman's destiny for your own sake. There's Jehovah Sephat. He's a rightful judge. I tell people that. Please, let's be careful. If you're out there, speak to God, speak to people. It doesn't have to be me. Look for people that you know don't have anything to lose. As in, they don't have any stake, they don't have any interest, they're not your friend, they're not your church member, they can't laugh at you. Or people that have gone through it, that you know are sincerely there to advise you. And then sometimes I remember when I wanted to hear the first counsel in my life. You see, I said it that dare to check the mirror. It's been a long time that I always like to check the mirror. I remember when I first found myself in this terrible situation when I was pregnant. There was a man of God that myself and my husband knew, Bishop Ore in Nigeria. We met him, and I just realized he's written some books. I read it, and I realized the man is mature. He has a huge church in Nigeria, someplace. I only met him once or twice, but he gave us his number. So after praying and fasting, I wanted to hear I wanted to face myself in the mirror. That what do I do? So what I did was, I called this man, but I didn't want to say it was me. So you could say that. So I wanted a genuine, because I know he knows my husband. So if I tell him my story and I say this is my husband, he won't give me the right counsel. So I called Bishop Ore, I remember, and I said, oh, I greeted him, and he was like, how's the man? I said, fine. So I said, there's a worker in my church that needed counsel. There's a particular worker in my church. I think it was a pastor, and I gave him my life history, my life scenario, my marriage. The first thing that man said was, wow, this person is not a man of must not be a worker. He has to be suspended. He gave me a counsel. He gave me, when you fear to face me, he gave me, and he said the woman should leave. Blah, blah. He said everything. Immediately he finished, he's already pronounced his judgment. I allowed him to pronounce the judgment. I said, Daddy, can I say something? As at that time I was crying. I said, what? I said, I've told you the story of my life. You might say, woman of God, why did you say that? I said, no, sir, because I wanted to hear the truth. I want to hear the truth about man. I need to know what to be done. I said, thank you, sir. This agreed with what the Lord told me. I am moving. The following week, I got a 2-man removal van with a 6-month-old baby, going to 7 months. I moved. So sometimes we need to watch the mirror of our life. We need to dare it. Dare it as I speak to you today. Yours may not be marriage. Please go and check. If you want to listen to the message on my Facebook, dare to check the mirror. Listen, face your fears, and then peradventure, that's the way to break through. If not, we'll still be in the same spot in years to come. I think I've rounded my story, and that was it. That was the first liberation I had towards my marriage. I realized, no, I need to, and God started working things up. So yours might not be maritally, yours might be in another area of your life, but especially tonight is for us women. Because of marriage, we are bound. Because of marriage, we don't want to leave the man. We think so much about our children, especially this woman. They say, oh, you can't take children from their father. You can take, if he's irresponsible father, instead of the children's life to be messed up, you can protect the destiny of your children. After all, you give back to them. Please, God will have mercy upon us. I don't want this to be longer. Like I said, this is just the story of my life. Things like this, I don't like talking about it because it brings unnecessary emotions, which I know I'm not supposed to bring, but I can't help it sometimes. But the Lord will help us. Thank you, everyone that's come online and that has contributed to it. I have Foluke Adewoye there. She's a reliable source. She's my bestie. For as far as she knows me, she knows my story. We were together in the uni. In fact, her daughter was my chief bridesmaid. She's now 21. And, 21 yesterday or this. She was 5 years old when I got married. She was a chief bridesmaid. And then Tolani is Tola. She's a social worker, benefit advisor, and Foluke is benefit advisor. So they can tell you the right. I'm sorry, guys, for putting you on the spot, but there are a lot of women that want to know. Please, women, you can protect your dignity. Just call, like I said, a friend of mine has this problem. Somebody in my church. All you need is the truth, and then pray and let God counsel you. Because one of the things you don't want to call Pastor D and say, Pastor D, my husband is cheating on me, and Pastor D will be looking at you. Just say, a friend of mine, there's a colleague at work that told me something. We don't care who the identity is when you come to me. I just want to give you the right counsel, and that's I don't need to see you. Please use any number. I don't stop people's number. Just get the right counsel, get on your feet, and let God help you. And then if you show it, then we'll pray along with you. But if you don't want to reveal your identity, that's fair. The most important thing, let us be liberated. Don't let any man or woman mess your life up. You are a child of God. You are a child of God. And the Lord loves you all. I pray that the peace of God guides us. As many of us that we're struggling, receive the peace and the strength of God to walk out of this. You see, it's not all marriages that you have to. Don't pack your bag. Remember, I said, if you use the law of the land to fight your husband, and you are lying, the Lord of Israel is there. You will get caned. Do not manipulate. But if you are on the right, call on God. It's called Jehovah Sephat. He's the rightful judge. He does not back liars. That's one thing I say. You cannot call on him when your hands are not right, are not clean. Please call on God. He will vindicate you. He will come to your rescue. Because some of us we met ourselves in a lot of funny situations, but you cannot die there. You mustn't die there. You must live, and the Lord will liberate you. I pray for liberation for you. I pray for strength for you. And for all our men, please, let's stop this. For the sake of generations unborn. For the sake, it doesn't end well. It does not end well. The Lord will have mercy upon us. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Maria Goretti, she should, okay, Maria, you have been liberated and are free in the Lord. Amen. God bless your ministry, man. You are lifted. Amen. Pastor Loguma, not true, Pastor. Thank you, sir. Abiola, that God does not back liars. Thank you. God doesn't back liars. Even if you think you are doing it, you think you are getting your way out. It doesn't. He does not back liars. He's a faithful God. I always, that's one thing. He's a faithful God. God bless your ministry. This is openness for liberation. Thank you. If we don't share this, you know, I've been redeemed to redeem others. If we don't share this, a lot of people are struggling. And one of the issues in Christianity today is we don't see people, everyone comes out to say, oh, my marriage, oh, when I met my husband, and we just know. We all have gone through things in life. We should be able to tell people that, listen, there was a time I was living in one room. Not that you just saw me in Jeep today. And we should be able to tell people, listen, I made a mistake, but the Lord restored. The Lord restored so that others can be restored. So I thank as many of you that shared with us. But this came to light again this week. As busy as I was when I had this on Monday, my head was spinning. And I don't like this kind of story because I've seen it repeated itself that I know personally over 4 times. Over 4 times. So let our men please listen, stop destroying lives. Let us do things well. And if people have messed up, you can actually make right for a man. Maybe I'm going to treat that because it got to that stage in my life. This is not the first time that I resort to, because I always like to do things. It got to a stage when I realized at some points that I realized again that, you know, and I was going to move out completely after that again, and another incident happened, and I went to call some men of God, and that's when I found out. You see, there's a way in this situation, in this man's situation, because the woman had gone now, so there's no cause for that because they kicked her out. But if the two women had been in his life, let's assume when the woman A and B that he married concurrently, let's assume the man either got born again, or one of the women got born again. You cannot continue in that marriage. I got to that stage of my life, and there's a way to do it, and there's a way to seek the Lord. Actually, more of it depends on the man, but at the same time, whoever was manipulated, because it got to that stage in my life, at the second stage, that a council of pastors, and we were like, who was, because I married him unknowingly. So because my guilt was I'm leaving, there was somebody else before. But the Lord was saying to me, no, until men of God told me, listen, you can't, because, and they asked him, and he confided, he confirmed it, and he said, no, you can't. So it's the man that would now decide, because it's the man that married the two of you. So it's the one that will decide who he wanted. Because at some point, women as well, we have to face our fears and find out if you're in such relationship, sometimes you have to leave. You have to leave. If you know that you knew, especially for some of you that you know that there's a wife inside the house, and because of money or status or anything, you agree to be number two. Yes. And then you get inside the house and you start fighting and say your number one must go. You are a joker. You are a joker. God will not back you up. But in such instance, it's the man. And then that is where you call on God, because marriage is complicated. Sometimes all these stories that we see is kind of too complicated. And it's the people in question that can really, really say who they in all things is the man that can say who is manipulating and who is the real one. There are a lot of men like that, and they'll be playing the two of you as if both of you are number one. The Lord will have mercy upon us. People have done things before they come into the Lord. That's what I find out. So a lot of people play games and they find themselves in the Lord and they're stuck. But when it gets to that situation, maybe one of these days the Lord will give us grace to deal with it. When we get to such situation, one of you has to leave. If you have to fulfill your mandate and the call of God upon your life, one has to leave the man. The Lord will have mercy upon us. It's deep. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Oops, Tola. Some women are guilty of manipulation as well. Olushe Idare, yes. Okay, maybe we should talk about that. God bless you. Tola, God bless you for sharing your personal experience to inspire and restore others. Amen. God bless you. Abiola, I beg to disagree, sweetie, that the man has to choose. The first wife is the real wife, except I don't understand. I want to. No, you see, that question is what has messed up Abiola Atonda. I'm going to talk on this before if I don't do justice on it, I didn't finish this topic. I wasn't going to go deep into it. What she's saying is she begged to disagree that the man has to choose. The first wife is the real wife, except I don't understand. Sometimes you don't know the first wife. In this case that we just dealt with, this was the case of two women that this man was marrying at this, he was dating at the same time. He impregnated one in school. She aborted the pregnancy. Her womb got perforated. So he gave her his words that come rain, come shine, I will stay with you. Now, as at that time, he was dating the two of them. He now proceeded to marry the second one legally. What about the first one that you remember with God? You see, with God, when we go to the altar, you see, most of us have made a mess about thinking when we go to the altar or we go to the registry, that is before man. Before God, when you sleep with a woman and you put her in the family where you are the husband or the wife, God does not do sex for sweet, sweet, sweet enjoyment. And that is the problem we have with this. In such situation, the first thing you have to do, Abiola, thank God you're a woman of God, is to seek the mind of God. Most of the time we misadminister or we misjudge situation like that. In this situation for this man, that woman that he perforated the womb, he didn't marry her legally. He married her at the second one, but he was the first woman because he'd already married her more or less, but because he'd not done things. So now he moved on to this woman for her to be able, because the family of this woman would not agree for this woman to be his wife or to live with him if they're not married. So he now married her legally. Unknown to us, he's already married another one outside. So in such situation, if you hear it on the surface, you tell her that she's the first wife, she's the one that should stay. No, there was a first wife outside that the man didn't marry. And that happens to a lot of situations. Now, if I may hand up to round it up, I don't know if somebody is okay. Wow. If I may round up to use my personal experience, when I married, my husband had a woman that he was married to before, but I did not know. I married in the church. I married a man. I went home. I confirmed everything, and I'm cutting the long story short. And I married. After my first child, I realized that there was a woman married. I didn't even know. I thought it was children. Then my findings revealed, after speaking to the woman, my finding revealed that this woman was legally married. They went to court. Meanwhile, I'd already married. So ultimately, and on the surface, she was the first wife. And what you said was my premise then, from my knowledge after being born again, that when you hear things like this, the first wife is the wife, and she had to go. So that was the burden I had for fasting and asking the Lord, I gotta go. I'm in somebody else's house. I'm not supposed to be there. And the Lord said me, no, stay there. Even men of God, after they prayed, so it got dirty. Then they called my husband, and that was, yes, we sat down when I was still insisting with the burden of guilt that no, she has a right to fight for her marriage. I'm not supposed to be in this marriage because I came in the second. But when he was considered and they asked him, it was manipulation. The first question, did you tell her you were married? No. Did she know you were married when she married you? No. So the woman is not at fault. I'm not guilty. So they asked him now, and he was saying, this is my wife, the last one. So who do you want? Which of them? I insisted this is it. And that was it. So sometimes it's not as straightforward. It's not as straightforward, but there was no time I prayed and the Lord gave me a release to go. I used to cry and cry and cry and bang my head. There was a time I did 7 days white fasting, and I'm like, God, please help me. I just wanted to hear, go, go, go. And the Lord said, I'm the Lord of all flesh. There's not anything hard for me. Stay there. And I will cry and cry and cry and cry. Because you see, when it comes to, I hope Biola is there, when it comes to things like this, I've realized something. We make a mistake in this, our current dispensation, because we use cut and paste for every question. You see, sometimes we need to know the mind of God. The general template is a man, if he is married before, and then he marries a second wife, obviously the first wife. But you need to discern in situations like this. You don't use cut and paste. I've gone past that level of my work with God. I don't cut and paste. Every situation needs to be taken before God because He's the God of all. He knows. He sees what we're not seeing. And the man in question usually has the answer to all this mess because he knows. Sometimes he's marrying some people in the spirit and he's marrying another in the. I'm reading the comment. We have to go tonight, Maria. Go ahead. Even when you the first wife, if the wife in the house is not loved or was family's choice, she shouldn't have to subject herself to pain. Let the man choose and the other man. I'm telling you, thank you, Maria. In situation like this, the man has to choose. I'm telling you, I've seen messy situations that if you use cut and paste, you don't know the mind of God. In fact, there was a case I had. I wasn't part of it, but my deputy pastor at some point in Nigeria administered this kind of thing, and he was when my issue came up, and I was talking to him, and he said, when it comes to this, you have to go to God. A lot of people have messed up marriage industry because we use cut and paste templates for marriage. You don't use cut and paste. When it comes to this, I'm telling you what I know, what the Lord taught me for 16 years. I'm telling you, for 13 good years, I'm telling you, you have to seek the mind of God. You have to seek the mind of God, especially when it comes to cases like in this one that we spoke about today. Is clear cut because they're divorced now. But if they were not divorced, it's difficult to know it's the first wife. It's difficult. So we have to ask the man, then we have to ask God. That's right. Most of the time, we don't always know the whole story. Thank you very much. It was not your fault, woman of God, because you were not aware. Thank you. BC Ajayobe, this is an interesting topic that should be discussed again. Pastor, this is a complicated and deep topic. I came in late and I have a contrary view about this stuff. I think we have to think. Thank you, Ajayobe. You see, this case, Abiola, I can't see you. You have to say so. You see, it's a deep topic that I wish men of God. I've seen people administer. A lot of pastors sometimes do make mistakes when it comes to this. Usually, the first one, if it's a clear-cut story of him marrying, and then after that, then another woman knows, and it comes up. Obviously, the second woman is a stranger. There's a marriage. But in this kind of cases, that a man will marry you in America, you will come and marry another one in London. You marry both of them at the same time. Or one, you will first marry somebody or give her a child, and then you will now legalize the marriage at some other place, and it gets so messed up that the first thing is we have to seek the mind of God, and then we have to pray and then ask the man. Most of the man will tell you. There's no point in forcing an unnecessary person. The man will tell you the one he wants to keep is the one that did the whole thing. The game is in his hand. You can't force a man. You can't force a man to love a woman or not to love a woman. It's so deep. The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. For look at the word, she needs a wealth of information and support to move on. The men lie a lot. Okay, I think we've gone past that one. Right. So that is just it. I think on this note we have to end tonight. Else, you see, it's generated a lot of views because we see all these things, and the administration or the administration of justice times is deep. Is the marriage ministry or marriage industry. That's why sometimes when I hear people say they are married counselor, I laugh. Who is your marriage is not something that you cut and paste or you read book to administer. It's something deep that most times when people bring it to you, you first go back to God. I remember there was a case a year, and to God be the glory, they are still married together. There was a case some years ago, about 10 years ago, that this couple started dating, and we were counseling them, and we told you must not sleep, marriage should be undefined and stuff. You say you're home in church, our people do whatever they want to do. And then we found out that this guy, I don't know to us, they've been sleeping with themselves. Suddenly the guy had a feel of the woman, and then we were praying. I think we gave 14 days prayer or something like that, and we're to reconvene. And then after we came to church, the guy just said something that he doesn't want, that the Lord has spoken to him that she's wife. So we're like, oh, my am I home when you say the Lord has spoken to you? We're like, oh. So we're like, okay, fair enough. Sister, what do you think would be? But the woman was just doing her mouth like this. Sister, we know we're talking like that. And she was like, what is it? He used me. Use you. She was like, we should not allow him to go. He used me. The whole council of used you, okay. Then we realized the man they, they've been enjoying this. So the man had good cheer and love our Nigerian men. He just came to us and said it's not the will of God. So immediately I had that. I was like, okay, let's hold on. He got to it gets to a state that is deep for us as pastors. And then we decided that we should reconvene and then go and pray 3 days. In fact, I started praying. I think the first day the Lord spoke to me expressly that the man and woman are for themselves. They should not go. So we came together. I just told the man, unfortunately, she said you used him. Hey, she has to use you too. No, 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 you are not going. The guy, I said, you are not going nowhere. You have tasted in the pudding, you will marry this one. To God be the glory, they've been married for the past 12 years or so. With two, 3 children now. Anytime I remember he used me, I looked at them and I laughed. So men sometimes can be clever. Can you imagine if God had not spoken in such case, we would have just allowed the woman. I just came back to him and I said to him, bro, you have used her. She will use you too. Both of you. You are stuck. So the Lord, and they are happily married with 3 children now. They are grown in. I'm sure anytime they think back and they will be smiling. So God will help us in this journey. Um, Abiola is here, Dali. I love you dearly. Thanks for giving to the Amen. Thank you very much. So thank you, everybody. It's deep sometimes, but the Lord will help us. There's no there's no, like I said, template for marriage. People's situation differs, and some of us that we're in the front line and we're pastors and we're ministers and we're counselors, we should please seek the mind of God deeply. We can't most times people don't tell us the truth about their situation. But when we go to the Lord, God reveals the things that in the middle or that's hidden for us, and we'll be able to nourish them and they will grow in the Lord. The Lord will help us. Thank you so much for everyone that's contributed so much. Maybe if the Lord carries one of these things, will shed light into it. It's deep. It's deep. Like I said, it's concerning, it's heartbreaking because it's like the story of my life in another way. But we thank the Lord that these people, at least they are alive, they are okay. So the woman just needs strength to forge ahead and move on. Until next week, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. I come back your way. Keep winning, keep shining. As many of us are actually married, the devil will not have occasion over your home in the mighty name of Jesus. The Lord will bind you together, will soak you, and cover you in the blood of Jesus. For those of you that are struggling, hold on to God. Check the mirror of your life. Watch my message on Sunday. Dare to check the mirror. Check the mirror. Face your fears. Hold on to God. You see that the Lord is on your side. The Lord will strengthen you. You can do all things through the strength of Christ that strengthens you. As many of you that are single, believing God, God will do it. Let's not be desperate. Let's not be desperate and don't be a second fiddle. Please, you regret it if you become a second fiddle. There's still men out there, and there's still women out there. So wait for the will of God to come to pass in your life. The Lord will keep us and will shield us with the blood. Until next Wednesday, I see you and I come back your way. Keep winning. Thank you very much, Pastor Logan, all my pastors online. Thank you, Pastor Makabu, Pastor Roque. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Thank you. You too. God bless you all. Good night. Good night. Bless you. Father, I give you praise. I worship you. Lord, I honor you.